So in this video, I want to talk to you about something that I have witnessed with the men that I've worked with, and there's been many now, and it's a common thread that's coming through. And it's with successful men, successful in business, successful in all aspects of life, except in their emotional, intimate relationships. And it's such a weird thing, but the minute I say it, every man on the planet that I've spoke to gets it, but they've not been able to articulate it, right? So I remember the first time this happened and I witnessed it. So I do a lot of energy healing, and that's a lot of, for those of you who don't understand energy healing, it's working on your energetic field. We all have a field around us, and it's working on the things we don't see but we feel. Fatherhood wounds, sisterhood wounds, motherhood wounds, brotherhood wounds, ancestral wounds. And so I have this unique ability to be able to see those wounds, and they get shown to me in a really metaphorical way. And something that I kept seeing this thread going through and through with all the men, they'd come to me because, like I said, you have everything you need financially, everything. And yet there's this one part of you that can't seem to break through the wall to connect and provide your wife with what she deeply needs. And she keeps saying the same thing over and over again. And you keep thinking you're giving it her, but you're not. Because she keeps saying, I don't feel connected to you. I don't feel as though you're listening. And it's not that you're not listening, but she doesn't feel it. And this is the thing that I'm seeing patterns over and over again. I literally get shown a cage around your heart, a cage. And it's a metaphorical cage, but like if you can imagine your heart is in my hands now, and it's like an iron cage. And what I've come to experience is the more you disconnect and the less vulnerable you are with your woman, the thicker the cage gets, the tighter the lock gets. So I mainly see men in their 40s and 50s, although that's not a rule per se, but the men that come to me in that age group, they've had decades of compounding the same behaviors over and over and over and over again. Why? To protect their hearts. So they're building this cage, and at first it's thin, and then it gets thicker and thicker until it becomes like almost like suffocating your heart. And I honestly believe this is a lot of the reason why we see a lot of young men having heart problems, because the energetic cage is so tight. Why does this happen? What are the behaviors that you do repeatedly to make the cage tighter and tighter and thicker and the locks and tighter? It's things like denying what you feel, going against your gut instinct, becoming a pleaser in order to have peace, but it's an illusion of peace. It's things like having outbursts of emotion and anger and frustration when you're triggered over the smallest things, because you haven't dealt with the real cause, which is all the emotions from the past. Now, I am not a believer of dredging up the past through talk therapy. All that does is create more wounds. I'm not a believer of that. What I'm a believer of is, let's deal with the emotions that were attached to that. So what did you feel? Anger, frustration, guilt, shame. And there is a very quick and powerful way that I work with men to release those. So what happens? The more we release, the less you need to protect your heart. And the less you protect your heart and open that cage, the more your woman is going to feel connected to you, because you are then available. Your heart is available. And I promise you, this is one of the things that destroys marriages. And then you go to the next woman and everything's lovely because it's all surface value, until she wants deep connection and you can't give it because you haven't dealt with the real problem. which is all the emotions that are entangled that you are literally causing your heart to be crushed. And men say to me, it feels like I've got a cage around my heart. You're right, it feels like my heart is being crushed. It's so sad. But I promise you, this can be dealt with so quickly. You have to be ready to receive and let go. And this is why my work is not available to everybody, because not everybody's ready for it. Because in order for you to do this, it requires courage for you to feel the things that you've not wanted to feel. Shame, guilt, anger, frustration, rage, all the things that you were told were not ideal. It requires courage to forgive yourself for all the behaviours where you neglected your woman, where you ignored her, where you went to work as opposed to going to home when you knew that you didn't have to be in work, and maybe some of you infidelity. It requires forgiveness. It requires radical self-responsibility. This is a process. Yes, we can unlock the heart, but then what? Then it's the journey of rebuilding the truth of who you are and learning who you actually are. Because that's what deep connection is. You can't be available for deep connection with somebody else unless you're deeply connected to your true, authentic self. And this, my beautiful friends, is how you reclaim your power back. It's how, as a man, you reclaim who you are as a man. And this is the true path to peace. It's not the illusion of pleasing her. Well, that gives you short-term peace, but it's not, it's a false peace because you feel it and she feels it. It's icky. It's like a cold silence peace. True peace is when you feel deeply connected to your woman and you don't have to do a goddamn thing. This, my friends, my beautiful men, is the work that we work through in my men only program. Self-learned, there's no community. You don't have to say, and raise your hand and say, like Alcoholics Anonymous, none of that. And for some of you, you will want to go deeper and move with your own personal situation, one-to-one. For some of you, you prefer that. By the way, it's not that one-to-one is better than the program. That's not the case. I've had men radically shift with the program and it's been enough. It's personal preference. Some men like to have one-to-one so that they can tailor the work. And the program that I developed, Men Only, is as a result of the patterns I saw with working with the men. So it's all the foundational stuff. So my beautiful men, you are not alone when it comes to feeling this heart. There are many of you that feel your heart is caged. There is a solution, but it requires you, not but, and it requires you to decide that you're going to work on this part of your life. It's interesting. I want to end here. Stephen Bartlett, the guy who does the Diary of a CEO podcast, he said something and it made me smile the other day. Now, he's a super successful entrepreneur like many of you. But what he has discovered at a young age, in his 30s, is the foundation to his success is not the business deal or the next move. It's actually how stable his relationship at home is. Because when he comes home to peace, he can rest and recharge. But he's had to do some real deep, vulnerable work. And you can actually see his heart cage opening up. I see it in front of my very eyes. And so some of you are thinking, what do you mean you see it? I see energy. I get shown energy. I can see disease in your bodies. It's the reason many men have prostate cancer, because it's years and years of accumulation of shame and guilt because they haven't allowed their masculine part of them to be fully present. You're not alone. There is help out there. The first step in loosening the bars on the cage is for you to get help. Not because you're broken, not because you need fixing, but because you desire the best possible life you can ever have. You want to feel and be fully connected. It's so magical. I promise you. It's magical on so many levels, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It's available to you. If you want to work with me, message me. and my team will take care of whether it's the men only or the application for the one-to-ones. It is an application because I only work with 5 at any one time and they have to be fully aligned because we move fast. Thank you for your time. Take care.